Hi, teammates. This is Sean J. McCall, as usual, coming at you with another episode of the Eurostep. Tonight is a pretty special one because it's a spontaneous one. I have nothing written. I have no questions written. I have nothing planned except for just some really basic notes. And the reason being is that my guest tonight, Dominique Johnson, I've been trying to get him on for quite a while, and it kind of just clicked today. Like, okay, you got time? Yeah, I got time. Let's do it. So that's pretty much how we did it a couple hours ago, and so I wasn't planning for this one yet, and so yeah, we're gonna wing it today. We're gonna talk about Dominique's career, his journey, and then we're gonna get right into his book that he's written, and then we want to answer a lot of questions. So for those of you out there watching the broadcast, please, if you have any questions about overseas basketball, I would consider both Dominique and I somewhat experts since we both played overseas. We've both written a book about overseas basketball, and we are here to help you, our teammates. So make sure you hit the down here at the bottom, the comment section, throw a question in there, and it'll pop up and everybody will see it. If you don't want everybody to see it, just me, then hit the question mark with the speech bubble, and I'll see it. I check in there when I see a question come up anyway, and I will also get your questions in. So, D. Mayfield, thank you. A lot of knowledge. I know you got a lot of knowledge, so if you want to throw something in there too, be my guest. So we're going to get my guest in now. Thank you for everybody that just joined. Oh no, don't tell me it froze up again. No, it didn't. There we go. Yo,
What's going on?
what's going on, Dominic? Hey, you said you was gonna have a do-rag on, man. I got my hat on. I thought you was gonna have a do-rag on. See, you got me out here looking like ass already.
No, no, I had to take it off, man. Oh, right here. So I don't know about
So, man, I just like you just saw. I did a really quick thing about who you are, but can you please introduce yourself because you can do it better than I can. Tell a little bit about your story, and then we'll get right into it.
yeah, man. First off, appreciate you for having me on. Like you
No
said, we've been
problem.
trying to together, you know what I'm saying, on this to share this knowledge and the time is finally now. So I'm originally born and raised from Detroit, Michigan. Um, I was there for 18 years. Went to Detroit Osborne right off of 7 Mile on the east side. And right after that, man, my pops just got me out of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He figured it was the best thing for me, and that's when I went to Memphis for junior college.
So you left high school, you went to junior college. What was the junior college life like? I also went to JUCO after my first year at Arizona,
Yeah.
and JUCO is another beast. How was it for you?
What JUCO did you go to?
I went to Dixie College
Okay.
in Utah.
All right. So, I went to Southwest Tennessee Community College, right in the heart of Memphis, Tennessee. My father's from South Memphis, so the area and stuff where he grew up at,
Mhm.
restaurants he used to eat at, everything, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where I was at. So JUCO was actually one of my best experiences, man, because it gave me that first opportunity to be an adult and learn from my mistakes.
And Memphis is not like it's not like you left Detroit, went to Memphis, and it was like going to Hollywood.
Right.
Memphis has got its little places and
Yeah.
pockets there too.
You know what? But at the time, man, I was at like my JUCO was right down the street from the FedEx Forum. So, and I was there at the same time Derrick Rose was playing at University of Memphis. Derrick Rose, Chris Douglas Roberts. So that whole we all played on the same days. So you just couldn't get downtown. You couldn't get through downtown because of the games. We were good. They
Right.
were good. Um, it was just a great time.
So after JUCO, you went to Azusa Pacific, right?
Yeah. So long story short, JUCO, uh, um, JUCO Player of the Year, had all the Division Ones and stuff trying to get me and whatnot. However, I fell a grade short of the clearinghouse, so which ruled me ineligible to play Division One
Right.
basketball. Uh,
Right.
my mom always had this saying, everything happens for a
For a
reason.
reason.
You know what I'm saying? Don't trip. You know what I'm saying? Just keep running your race. So lo and behold, NAIA schools was calling me and stuff. I didn't even know what it meant. And I did, man. But I went to go visit, and I never came back.
There's something
Never came back.
about going to a small school, because I went to Southern Utah University. I mean,
Yeah.
I went to Arizona as a freshman, and then I transferred to a JUCO because I didn't like Arizona. And I mean, I was immature as hell, but that's another story. And then I had all the schools that recruited me in high school again. Wake Forest, I
Mm-hmm.
had ACC. It was pretty crazy. But I was like, yo, I got 2 years left. I want it to be a good 2 years. I want to be the big fish in a small pond type thing. And that's how I
Okay.
ended up in Southern Utah. And it was exactly the right thing for me. So I can totally feel where you're coming from, going
Yeah.
somewhere and really doing your thing. How were your 2 years at your last 2 years?
Wonderful. One of the best programs and stuff that I ever been a part of. Really broke my game down. Taught me the game, the basics of it. When I was in Memphis, it was more so about athleticism, speed, and just
Right.
like playing in Memphis, a killer instinct. So you balance the killer instinct with actually knowing and understanding the game. That's a deadly combination. So, I'm very thankful for my coaches with, Justin Leslie and Jeff Rutter that's there. And then the assistant, Peter Bond, who's the head coach now, they helped me out tremendously, tremendously. Won both conference tournaments. Uh, my last college game was the championship. We lost by 1 point. Um, and after that, it was just on to the pro life.
So Azusa Pacific was NAIA, right?
They were NAIA back then, now they're NCAA D2.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because before we get into really your journey overseas, a lot of players think that if you're not D1, that you can't come overseas, or you know the myth, right?
Yeah.
If you're not D1, you'll never have a good career, you'll never make a lot of money, things like that. To a certain extent, it's true, but only if you're not willing to work, right? I mean, there's a lot of D1 players or a lot of NAIA players, a lot of D2, D3 players that should be
Mm-hmm.
in D1.
Yeah.
But the problem is that a lot of scouts over here, GMs, scouts, coaches, agents to some
Yeah.
extent,
Yeah.
they don't have the time to go into the background of these players to figure out why they were in NAIA or why they were in D3 and not D1. They just think D1 is the best college basketball, and if I want to sign a player, I want to sign a player from the best possible place, and that's D1.
You know what? Um, it's so crazy because like when you play in NAIA, when you playing Division 2, Division 3, those mid-major
Mhm.
division, those type of leagues really develops the character and preparation of overseas basketball.
Right.
And you playing at that high major Division 1, everything is handed to you, right? Like it's easier. It's at your fingertips.
Mhm.
You can get it when you want. If your shoes are torn or whatever, you go to the office, get another, another pair.
Yeah.
In certain situations, like you got to figure it out when
You're
you're
not
playing
spoiled.
NAI. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when they do come overseas like that, it's a culture shock, right? Or it's like a reality check. And it's something that most of those guys are not really prepared for. That's why when you look at these successful players, Euro League and
Mhm.
things that nature have had like long careers, a lot of those guys come from mid majors, if not lower. You know what I'm saying? So like with my case, it was just it's also about who you talk to. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hold a conversation with certain people, they gonna instantly be turned off by it.
Right.
So I've always been the type of person to hold a conversation with people. Always took cards or whatever they gave me. I may not have to use it right away, but you never know when you may need it. And really just going from there, man. But when I was at APU, USC tried to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like every school in that SoCal area, like tried to get me. Everybody's trying to figure out why was I there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't belong there. But the learning, um, looking back at it, the education, you know what I'm saying? Like the choices and stuff that I made when I was there, I corrected them, you know what I'm saying, now. But you know, man, it was a blessing.
Yeah, but do you experience that as well? Like I wrote about it in my book that my very first coach overseas, he told me he specifically wanted a player from a smaller school. We were D1, but we weren't like big. We weren't even mid-major. Um,
Okay.
and he said he was looking specifically for a player from a smaller school because he had dealt with players from bigger schools and they were all spoiled. And he wanted someone with a chip on his shoulder. And that was one of the reasons why he was attracted to me as a player. Um, have you ever had
Okay.
any experience like that? Because I think it, to some extent, what you said before also is
Yep.
the being spoiled. I think that's somewhat of an issue when they come over here. That, of course, if you go to University of North Carolina, your training room, your facilities is all top notch, right?
Man.
You come over, you come over to Austria, you got dudes taping their own ankles. You got to. I had to go to McDonald's to get ice bags after practice. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You thugging it out for real. And if you come from UNC to that,
Yeah.
depending on the person, of course, yeah. But yeah, it could be a very big culture shock, like you said.
Man, you know what? Not like thinking about that, a coach has never said that to me. Um, but my first year in Poland, I played for Sloanska Wrocław, or you'll pronounce it as Slask. Um, Went there on a tryout. Didn't know I was on a tryout. That's not the point.
Oh, we're gonna get
Did the training,
to that later.
no,
We're gonna get to that later.
did the training camp, you know, everything, right? Um, Man, it was guys in and out, in and out. I was there from beginning to the end. And just like you said, it was two guys on my team that played in the NBA that they just they got rid of. And I just stayed. Like I don't
Mhm.
like I said, man, I don't know, you know, making $3,000 a month at the time and not knowing that they're getting times, you know what I'm saying, like this amount. I'm like, I didn't even figure that out until like my third year. I didn't figure it out. Like it was crazy. I didn't figure it out, but it was just like, damn, I stayed there that whole time, like that whole time. And but no, I never had a coach to tell me that. I never had a coach to
it's
tell me. I
it's
get
crazy, man.
more so they're asking me like, yo, where is your school at? Or like how
I can't find it.
yeah, how do I say your school? But you know, it's just, you know, man, I embrace it. I embrace it. It's fun. It just adds to the story.
But okay, let's start with your overseas journey. Before you came over to Europe,
Yeah.
did you have an agent?
Yeah, man. So coming out of college, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure you, um, I was at the NAIA Nationals. It was in Kansas City, Missouri. We had just lost. I'm not wanting to talk. I don't feel like talking to nobody. All right. However, guy walks up to me from Germany, Matt Hoffer. I
I know,
I'm
man.
not sure. Okay.
I know, man. Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Was like, Dominique, I understand you just lost. However, you definitely can play professional basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like your season or your career doesn't have to end from right here. And he was like, yo, you have to get a passport, right? Have to get a passport. And he was like, I think you would make a long living in Germany. Didn't think none of it. Gave me his card. Went on about my business. As I'm thinking about the NBA. That's it. Think about. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like training staff. Like once when we lost that game, I didn't even go to school no more. I was working out for the NBA. Um, and you know, agents and stuff was calling me, man, random numbers. I don't know who these people are. I don't know how they got my phone number. Trying to sell me everything. You know, money. It was so much stuff, man. But that agent, I'm not gonna name, came to my house. You know, rented a luxury vehicle. Um, had a a shoe model, like a shoe prototype. Like we're going to, you know, so we can get this and we can get that, and et cetera. You know, I bought into that. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Where I signed at? You know, this and that.
Mhm.
Man, this
Wait,
dude was
you don't
so.
have to name a name, but was it an American agent or
It was
a
American.
European agent?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was American. It was from Washington. Anyway, fired him. He tried to charge me for the car that he rented. Right? Tried to charge me for the car that he rented, and
Expensive.
and uh and the flight. So the agent that I went with after that, he was like, "Man, we're not paying that. Tell that dude." He's like, "Give me the number. I'll take care of it." I never heard from him no more. I never heard from him no more, man. But that was just like the first, you know what I'm saying, introduction to like the agent business. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
I remember when I came out, even though we were a small school, I played really well and stuff like that. And I had like 7 agents to choose from. And I told my coach, I'm not dealing with that. You cut them down to 3. I trusted my coach. I said, you cut
Wow.
them down to 3.
Okay.
You talk to them, you find out which ones you think are not good for me and for my future. Because of course I also had the NBA dream as well.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, I knew I wasn't going to be drafted or something like that, but I was like, okay, summer leagues, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, find the one that's probably best for my personal situation. We cut it down to 3, or he cut it down to 3. That's when I got involved and I started talking to them and meeting with them, and they flew out. And then I ended up choosing. I one of the craziest things is I ended up choosing the right agent, but I didn't like him at first. And I had a Italian guy, Massimo Rizzo. He's not even the agent anymore.
Okay.
But he was based in Miami, but he was Italian, and he played ball before in Italy and stuff like that. He was a former pro, and I
Man,
didn't like him.
you got me. Trying to think because I played in Italy for 5 years, so I'm
He
trying to think.
had slick back hair, you know, typical Italian guy, slick back hair, and I ended up choosing him, and it was one of the best things that I could have done. But yeah, what I want to say though is that a lot of players,
Mhm.
probably a lot of players that are watching right now, don't have that luxury that you and I had.
Yeah,
That agents are knocking on their door, right?
yeah,
So that's tough. You know, that's tough, and that I see that now with the consulting that I do for players. It's hard, and even and these days it's even harder because there's so many players. The focus has shifted to NBA or bust, and now people are seeing that overseas basketball is a viable job, a viable way to earn a living, and that's changed over the last, I would say, 10 years or so.
yeah.
What do you think? Have you noticed that more people are asking you or coming to you and trying, hey, can you give me a job?
So, well, you gonna always get people to ask that. That's
Yeah.
and one of the main things that I hate before I answer your question um, is guys on Facebook or social media in general that tries to downplay the overseas game by saying like, "Hey man, give me a job overseas, man. I'm ready. I can play over there."
Like
No,
it's
you can't.
that easy.
Yeah, no, you can't. Like it's not gonna happen. But with your, you know what I'm saying, with your question, man, it's I'm so like under the radar with the like where I played, who I played for, what I've done. Like um I'm always in like the SoCal area. It's nothing but basketball there, right? In the summer, you know, I'm in the Drew League and stuff like that. It's nothing but basketball there. It's nothing but NBA players there, you know, et cetera. And it's just like you know, it's different when you're overseas. You can't even go to the grocery store without people stopping you, and you know what I'm saying, et cetera. When I'm at home, it's just
Anonymous.
like I'm free, right? Like you just go about your business, you just, you know what I'm saying, just skate through. But people not knowing when you're at these open gyms and stuff, when they have like their NBA picks, you know what I'm saying, like the invite only or whatever like that. And it's like, I've killed this dude, I've killed that, you know what I'm saying? And like, y'all don't know like really what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why you don't do this or do that? It's like, well, I shoot enough when I'm overseas. Like, what? I don't have anything to prove to y'all. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just weird, but I love it. I think now people are starting to realize the value that overseas has. You know, I think Josh Childress was like one of the first ones to like really shine the light on it when
Yeah.
he went to that dealing with Olympiacos. But let alone not knowing there was so many other guys that was signing those big
So,
deals. You know, Marcus Brown, J.R. Bremer, and Meyer Chapman, like a lot of guys, Devon Mallet, like there was a lot of guys over there that's made a pretty comfortable living for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now with social media, that word is out and
exactly.
guys know, but you also got guys lying.
Oh no, really?
So
Really?
yeah, I
No,
know, you know.
I wouldn't. No.
So you know how that is. You know, in the NBA, it's easy to Google a player's salary. You can't do that overseas.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? But like it'll humble a lot of guys if that stuff was public. You know what I'm saying? So
Most definitely.
and that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah, but
you
the
know,
thing is that we that play over here, we know it. You know, you,
for
you
sure we
can't
know.
you can't you can't bullshit us. You know,
For sure we
it's the people that are back home that have no fucking idea and are impressed by some little diamond in his ear or
know.
something like that. You know what I'm saying? But real hoopers, we know. You're not gonna tell me you made $10,000 a month in Austria. Side eye.
Hey, hey, Euro basket, man, tell a lot. Like people don't know about that website like that. So man,
Yeah.
Euro basket to tell a lot.
Yep.
Whew.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the lying going on, that's I mean, I guess it's normal. But what I want to ask you before we move on to your book, at what point you said before that you were thinking like NBA or bust when you first finished.
Mhm.
At what point did it kind of switch for you that you were like, okay, that dream is dead? How long were you already in Europe, or when did it happen for you that you kind of made that click? Like, okay, maybe the NBA is not going to work for me, so I'm going to concentrate on where I'm at now, and I'm going to be the best player for the situation that I'm at now. I think everybody has like that moment.
Oh, okay, so I think it's like two parts to this question because or two answers. Because when I did my first draft workout with the Kings, did the workout, did well. The guy had told me specifically, he said, "You're not NBA ready right now, but you'll be a hell of a EuroLeague player." I didn't know what he was talking about, right? I forgot the guy's name, but I can see his face like right now telling me that, and I took that information and I went on about my business because I was still like, damn, he just said I can't make it to the NBA, right? But as I replayed it, got older, figured it out. Um, the you know how the NBA goes, man. You get one shot, if that, right? I think my shot was back when the lockout happened and I got the invite to the Timberwolves training camp, right? All the roster spots was full, but it was just like I wasn't ready mentally. And then that's the other part too, where like vets really play a key role
Right,
to a young kid's development. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So, and when I was there, I was able to get connected with Anthony Tolliver, who's a great friend of mine still to this day, and he helped me out a lot
I think he's
in
helped
that process.
a lot of people.
Man, he changed the way that I train as a pro over here in Europe, just off of our conversations and stuff, and when we was working out back, in our home. But it clicked for me, man. I'll probably say after I left Venice that I was like, yeah, I think it's over with. I was make the money and stuff that I was making, it was just like I can almost do everything that they doing. So I'm good. Like
So
I'm
how long had you been overseas by that point?
that
At
was
that point,
uh let's see, I went to Venice in 2017. 4 years. 4 years. Yeah. Um, at the time I didn't realize what I had, but I had bone spurs in my knee
painful.
and my jumping knee. So same thing that John Wall has. And I didn't get that fixed until we found out that we was pregnant with our daughter. And
Wow.
I got fixed for my child, not for basketball. I was about to retire. I couldn't take the pain no more. Yeah. So, that was that.
When I my NBA dream came to a crashing halt. My very first year, I had been in Austria for 2 months, 2.5 months. We were playing in the back then. I got now. I'm showing how old I am. It was back when the European Cup was called the Courage Cup. There was no EuroLeague. It was called the Courage Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and we were playing in that. And we're doing fine. Everything was going according to plan as far as what my agent had planned for me. And I broke my leg in the game. And then
Okay.
I had never been hurt before, ever. And I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to play again. Luckily enough, make a long story short, the team re-signed me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stayed and rehabbed and got better and then started the next season. But of course, then that dream is gone, you know.
Okay.
And I think I've talked to quite a few guys and girls who also want to play WNBA, and there's always that some point where they're like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. And that was it a hard moment for you when you realized it? Because for a lot of people, it's a really tough moment where they say, okay, the NBA, WNBA is not gonna happen for me. Was that a tough moment for you? Because think about it, we all practiced, trained, did everything that we had to do, went to college with a goal of something NBA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
None of us was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go practice, to go running, thinking, "Ooh, I'm about to get me a EuroLeague contract. I'm gonna go play in Austria."
Yeah.
Come on, that's not realistic. Even now, it's not realistic. So, was that tough for you when you realize, okay, the NBA is gone?
Man, I think it wasn't tough because it came back. Like the fire and stuff, like it came back. However, one of my agency that I'm with right now, Higher Vision Sports with Craig McKenzie, his brother was talking to me first year in Poland. He was like, "Man, D, look, this thing is a marathon. The money and stuff that you're making right now, that's not the end. That's not the end game for you. You're gonna see it, and you're gonna know the difference." And he was like, "This is when you're gonna know the difference. When you walk in the bank and they know your name, right?" So when he said that, and when it actually like happened, where it's like you walk in and they're like, "Hey, oh, okay, what do you need, Mr. Johnson?" And people are like, "Oh, what the fuck is this dude?"
Not just a
Right?
number. You are a face
Right,
with a
right,
name.
right. And it was like that kind of gave me like a little, what I'm saying, like allowed me to breathe. But it was like back at the time, you really had positions in basketball. And me being at the height that I was a shooter, wasn't a point guard. So I'm a tweener. But now
Everything's fluid.
everybody's a positionless basketball now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and then it's like with the knowledge and stuff that I've gained with the, through the game, through Europe, there's no way that I shouldn't be on the NBA roster right now at 35. Like I shoot the ball with the best of them. I hold my hat on that. I bet my life on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all about timing. It's about who you know. I didn't go to North Carolina. I didn't go to Duke. I didn't go there. You know what I'm saying? I played against those guys, and they know me. But the higher ups and stuff like that. So, I'm good, man. I'm good. But no, that fire definitely came back as I got older.
So you are vet, I would say right now. How many years? How many years you out? You out now?
It's
12?
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
So let's start talking about your book
Yeah.
right now. Adjusting, adapting, and managing expectations of overseas
Yeah.
basketball. My first question about your book: when did you first think about writing the book?
Man, I wanted to write that book after my second year. But the timing wasn't right. Timing wasn't right. Everything that I have been through, I went through it just by learning it, right? Like my agent helped me, giving me breadcrumbs and stuff like that or whatever, but also allowing me to learn some things on my own, you know what I'm saying, through trial and error. So it was just like, as I got older, I'm like, how do I give back to the, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, damn.
I know. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be time to write this book, right? It's really time to write this book because a lot of guys don't understand what really goes on with it. So the title fits perfectly with the overseas grind. You have to adjust. You're gonna have to adapt, and you have to manage the expectations.
Yeah.
Right. So um, that was the purpose, man. Because I mean, I said, you saw the table of contents and stuff like that, and especially with the time right now that we're in, it's time to pick agents. It's time to pick.
Yeah. Right now it's hot. Right now it's hot.
It's time to pick an agent. You know what I'm saying? These agents are going to strike when the iron's hot, and you have to be able to weave out the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just what it is. And I've been through it. I've been screwed. And in that book, I'm trying to make sure that they do not fall into that trap because they're so quick to hand you money and do these things for you. And as soon as you fire them, because 9 times out of 10 in this business, if you play long enough, you're not going to finish with the same agent you started with. I don't care.
It's not happening.
I don't care what nobody say. If the people that finish it with that same agent, you're basically a unicorn. So it just happens.
It's a
You
business.
grow.
It's a business.
You grow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you grow. And relationships end or whatever. It's just life. So that's what it is. But you're not going to finish with the same agent you started with.
What looking back on it now that you've written the book, what's probably the single most important thing you would have told yourself back when you came out of school?
I don't even think I would have. I don't think I would have changed much, but I think it was more so about asking more questions.
Yeah.
Because of the simple fact of the agent that I was with when they sent me to this training base. You had basketball, you had weights, I had physical therapy, everything, apartments, right? I don't know where this money's coming from, but I know it ain't coming out of my pocket. I can't afford it, you know? So it was just like, as soon as I parted ways with that agent, the stuff that I was doing for the agent, because I had a car out there, the other guys didn't have a car. So I'm like, yo, look, I can drive, pick them up, take them to the gym, go back. We all stay in the same apartment complex. We're doing this about 4 or 5 hours out of the day. I'm like, yo, like, you don't have to rent cars. Like, I can, you know what I'm saying? I can do that. He's like, all right, cool. Well, I'll look out for you, throw you, you know what I'm saying, extra money. I never got it in writing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's the small things. And when I decided to part ways with that agent, he sent me a $22,000 bill.
Not bad. Not bad. As far as agents go, so you just said you would have asked more questions. Would you have? I mean, I also wouldn't want to change anything of my journey. Actually, even my broken leg, everything led to what I'm doing now. It had a purpose, and I can really feel what you said about wanting to give back, and that's why you wrote the book.
Yeah.
But still, I think sometimes, like, I don't know if I would warn myself. I don't know. I've been incredibly lucky. I haven't really gotten screwed over. It was only one time that a team was really late with payments, but I got it. You know, like I except for my broken leg, I've been pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. You know.
That's a
So what you say?
that's a blessing.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And but still, I wonder sometimes, like, do I tell myself not? Do I tell myself not to be on the phone calling everybody back home that first month and then having a $700 phone bill? Do I tell myself that, or do I let that roll?
But look though, you gotta understand. You gotta understand the time that we were in.
Yeah, there was no internet. I'm okay. I'm a dinosaur.
No,
I'm a
no,
European basketball dinosaur.
it is what it is. But what you said, right? How else are you gonna get in contact with them?
Yeah, but come on, man. I didn't.
Right,
I was
right.
calling everybody, man. I was calling people from
Hey,
college. I was calling a college coach. I was calling everybody.
look, man. The with this overseas game, and when you coming over here, you're basically isolated for about 8 to 10 months out of your life,
Yeah.
right? So I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but I always compare overseas basketball to being deployed because you have to understand, like that basketball team, those are your brothers, right? They're supposed to have your back. You're supposed to have their back. You know what I'm saying, et cetera. Like you're seeing them every day, right?
Every day.
Once when the season is over with, right? You go back home, and now you're shell shocked, right? Things, the freedom and stuff that you had when you was overseas, it's like I'm from Detroit, right? Inner city Detroit. Like my zip code is called the red zone, right? Like it's called the red zone, like for a reason. And it's like me wearing a Rolex in Europe. I might think twice going right because now
Street
it's like
smart. Street
yeah,
smart tells you no.
it's that right. So it's just it's so many different variables, man. Like to that, and this conversation can go like deeper and deeper
Yeah,
just off of this alone. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's a tough situation, man, and you really have to be strong mentally to get through this. And your post that you posted earlier today about having um, like a person to like check in
That's
with,
what.
to talk to the book. You know what I'm saying? Like I've went through that. I've went through depression and stuff like that. Like I experienced that in Venice. You know what I'm saying? So it's you have to have that, man. You have to have somebody that you can talk to and really like release those burdens and stuff that you're carrying, because when you're over there playing, they don't care about none of that. You have to perform.
Yep,
That's it. You have to perform.
yep. Bottom
There's
line.
no questions. You
Bottom
have to perform.
line.
You on that plane.
They might talk all that. Our team is a family, all they want. But when it comes down to it, if you're not producing on that court, there are more guys back home. All you got to do is call the agent. This guy's underperforming. Bring your next.
Hey man, just like I told my boys, like this transfer portal and stuff that you're seeing right now, it's already been in existence. It's Eurobasket. That's it. It's overseas. It's overseas basketball, man. Like whatever. You can't do the job or you want to leave.
Ah,
It may not be that you get out of your contract though.
you're not
You know what I'm saying?
gonna get all your money. That's for sure. Don't
Like it may
think you're
not.
gonna get your money.
Yeah. It's like all right, shit. All right, go ahead. You just need that letter of clearance.
Yep,
That's it. Like
that's it.
it's in the transfer portal. Like
That's
it's been the transfer portal.
true. That's true. That's true. Let's go back to your book now. Before we start that, people out there watching, teammates, if you have any questions that you would like to pose to either me or Dominique or both of us, please write it in the comment section down there or in the question mark with the speech bubble, and I'll be sure to read it and get it out to you, and we'll try to answer your questions, because this is the time. If you got a question, you might as well throw it on out there right now while you got both of us here. So
Man,
back to your book.
sure, man. Chris Lucci is in here right now. One of a good agent, man. Like out there.
One of the good ones, huh?
Yeah, man. Like, yo, that's my guy. Like, what's going on though? I'm listening.
Um, what do you think from I looked at your chapter list. What do you think is the most important chapter? What you definitely would tell somebody to read, and they can only read one chapter. What chapter are you telling them to read? Title of the chapter. That's tough. I know because I'm looking at my book right now and I'm like, ooh,
All right, I'm gonna
which
just off what you just told me. There's a few. There's a
no,
few.
you
Like,
got one, man. You can't be telling. I asked you for
no,
one.
I'm
You
saying
can't give me a few.
I'm gonna go off one just from what you told me
Okay,
when you was in Austria. How old were you when you broke your leg?
22. Just turned 22.
All right. So, um, let's say this happened when you was 29, right? Um, and you didn't trust the doctors over there.
Oh, man, I don't even want to go in. I
All right.
don't even want to go there.
All right. So, no, we about to, you asked the question, we're about to go there. Look, so,
Yo, go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. All right.
all right. So, look, you're 29. You're no longer under your parents' insurance. All right. You need to get a second opinion. You feel more comfortable with doing that in the States. How do you do that? Right. A lot of guys that play overseas basketball don't have health insurance back at home. They
True.
depend on the team,
It's
and
true.
that's one of the worst things that you can do.
It's true.
I didn't learn that until I got with my agent, Craig McKenzie. Um, a lot of guys who play the most ball in the summer, being from overseas, want to come back. You want to show people, hey, like I'm here. You know what I'm saying? This, and this. Um, rolled ankle, uh, you know what I'm saying? Tweak shoulder, etc. How are you gonna go get that checked out, right? So I definitely recommend health insurance for the, you know what I'm saying, for the overseas athletes, and just put it on auto pay, and not worry about it. Nothing has to happen, but if it does, you have your doctor back at home where you can, you know what I'm saying, confide in and get a second opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and more so probably get the right answer to your injury, because you still have to realize that when you're playing overseas, those team doctors work
For
for
the
the team.
team.
That's their
Right.
responsibility. It's not you.
No.
It's not you. You have some. You have some
You have a few. You have a few.
that's going to look out for you. However, you may have a derby game in 2 days, right? Derby means a rival game. Um, you have to play.
They're gonna pressure
Let me
that doctor to make you play.
let me give you this. Let me give you this injection. Let me get, you know what I'm saying? Like, not knowing the side effects and stuff that comes with it, or the possible side effects that come with it. So it's just, I would say the health insurance chapter, man. Like, and after that, it trickles down. Mental health, right? Uh, the money, knowing what an image contract is. You know what I'm saying? Like the body language, right? Like, you don't speak the same language. Your body does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's so many different variables that's in that book that goes into having a long career of playing overseas basketball. Hell, they could probably help you in the league too.
I mean, when I broke my leg, I had exactly that nightmare scenario what everybody hopes you don't have when you're overseas. I'm overseas. There's no way it got broken so bad. There was no way they could have patched me up and sent me home, right? And I didn't have no insurance, like you said. I didn't have. I was still on my mom and dad's insurance, but I don't think it would have covered all of that.
Yeah.
Then you got rehab. It's not just the surgeries. You got rehab, stuff like that. So, uh, I mean, I got operated on like that night, and the to make a long story short, the doctor, like you said, works for the team, and he thought after some weeks that that I would make it back by the end of the season. I broke it in September, and they wanted me back by playoffs, and they put pressure on the doctor. The doctor actually got into a fight with my physio because I was ahead of schedule, um, and they ended up firing the physio because the physio was more on the cautious side. They fired her.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and it just didn't. They set me back more than anything,
Yeah.
and I didn't really get over it for another year and a half. So I mean, really 2 years before I really recovered. My second year, I played like crap, and I was about 70%. I was playing on a bum leg. And they, of course, they could see I was getting better, but I wasn't 100%. They offered me another contract, and I'm thinking, shit. I just, as a foreigner, I just averaged like 12 points a game. My first season, I was averaging like 26. My
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
season, on a bum leg, I was averaging like 12. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, ain't nobody gonna want me. Yeah, let me sign
Yeah.
on that paper. You want to sign me? Yeah, yeah, I'm a sign, right? And it's just it's a head game, man. And like it's like you said, with injuries, the doctors work for the team.
Yeah.
And the sooner you figure that out, the better. Get a second opinion, get a third opinion. Like find somebody who is not affiliated with the team to take you to another city to get you checked out. Like even if you have to come out of your pocket,
Yeah.
that is money well invested in your body. You know?
Man, like right now at 35, I have chiropractor, I have my physio, I got my actual doctor, I got my masseuse. You know, like I don't take like pills and stuff like for like nutrients and all that stuff. I don't take that. But I have a specific team, man, that I deal with, period. I don't talk to nobody else. If anything happens to me while I'm over here, all right, here, send it. I'm about to send you the message. Send this right to this email. Don't even talk to me. Send it straight to them. That's who you're gonna talk to, period. But I've had so many people telling me when I was telling them my knee was hurting that I had tendonitis. It's just tendonitis. So I'm doing exercises for something that I
Tendonitis. Right.
don't even have.
Which is
And
probably making it worse.
man, went to the doctor, told me what it was in the States. This is like when things got like deeper, like when I really like you're my doctor. Like
Right.
I'm only doing you. Man, we can get this done right now. What? Yeah, we get this done right now. Normally that surgery was 27,000. I walked out of there with a $1,200 bill just off my insurance. Rehab, all that stuff paid for. I met my deductible. So it's like you just gotta look at that stuff, man. Like it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So
That's a really good way to say it because
yeah,
I mean it's like that with any car insurance, any kind of insurance. You don't need it till you need it. And then you're gonna
when
need it.
you better have it. Like
You better have it.
it's just that, man. Like it's cool. I still talk to a lot of guys just like you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. I keep my name out of it or whatever, but I try to make sure that they okay. And I'm always looking out for their best interest. Like a lot of guys will call me before they even call their agent.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about before, the mentor thing. You kind of need somebody because let's be honest, there's good agents, there's bad agents, but agents are their thing is to make money, to find players that will make them money. Simple as that.
Yeah.
They don't have time to educate you on a lot of the things that you're going to need to understand. There's a lot of athletes go learning by doing. I did it.
Yeah.
You probably did it. And I think right now is a time where, especially through the internet, where there's a lot of old heads that actually do want to give back. Back when I was playing, there weren't old heads that wanted to give back. They wanted to keep that competitive edge.
Yeah.
They wanted to, really keep you down. The whole line about how much money they were making was rampant. So I think now, though, if you genuinely ask someone who's been over here, guys and girls are definitely apt to helping.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Guys like you, me, I got my guy at Overseas Famous on Instagram. Jose Colorado, he's doing some nice stuff. You know, there are a few people point advising. There are
Yeah,
some people that are really trying to help the basketball community.
yeah.
And I think even 5 years ago, there wasn't that.
Nah, man. And that's the other thing too. It's just about talking. Like, number one thing on the court is communication, right? So it's just like you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of those things in that book or whatever, like I didn't know. Now that I know it, just trying to make sure that I, so that I share it with the guys and stuff because the other thing is, taxes. You know what I'm saying? So it's so much. I know we probably get an hour with this, but there's so many more topics and stuff to like tackle um, that these athletes don't know. They just continue thinking like, yo, it's tax free. I ain't got to pay no taxes.
Yeah, that's the biggest
Like, no,
bullshit myth.
like, yeah,
Like, no, Uncle Sam wants his cut. Like, don't
man.
get it twisted.
And he will find you. Like,
And, and they're paying your taxes here. It's not like nobody's paying taxes. You know,
mm-hmm.
I'm a teacher. I got a normal 9 to 5, right?
Okay.
There's still part of my salary goes straight to the tax man.
Yeah,
You know, I pay the other part later when I do my tax income. But you know, that's the biggest piece of bullshit that your money overseas is tax free. Hey man, I don't know who started that rumor, but that's been a hard headed one. That one
yeah,
is still going around.
yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough to deal with. And I pray that nobody has to go through that. Like that stuff right there. Like it's just a headache in itself. Just
They
trying to
don't
do,
play.
what I'm saying, and everything. But you see the money and stuff that you get, and it's just like, damn, okay, well, I've never seen this amount of money before.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You're so
That's the thing. That's the thing.
happy and stuff like that. So, it's just what it is. But like you said, like you have people now who can actually like help you with this type of knowledge and stuff like that. And I'm one of the people that if I don't have the answer, I
Find some.
probably know that has
Yeah.
it. So I'm gonna check, what I'm saying? I'm gonna check with them and stuff like that and go from there. But yeah, man, like this is it's crazy. Yes, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, like I also do mentoring and I have a couple clients right now that I'm doing that with. And one thing that we talk about, even in the consultations there, the half hour, 1 hour consultations I have with different people, one thing that I try to impress on them is not that I know everything, and I don't need to know everything, but
Yeah,
you're also paying for my network.
right,
You're also
right.
paying for the people that I know that if I don't know something, I can hit up and say, hey, can you help me with this? I got a question. I got
Yeah,
a player in a jam. Can you help me with this? And I've done that many a
yeah,
time. I don't know
yeah.
everything. I won't claim to know everything, but I usually know someone who is in a position to help me out because they're genuine and they want to help, not because I'm kicking them down or something like that. And I think that's very important that the guys and girls that seek mentorship, first of all, it's got to be somebody that they have trust. That person should have a pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
That person should be trustworthy. That person shouldn't be in it for the money, right? But here's the crazy thing. Before I just started the consulting gig business like a couple months ago. And
Yeah,
before that, just like you, I'm sure you counseled countless people,
yeah,
gave them some tips, gave them the one thing that really used to piss me off was, and what I realize now is sometimes if you don't charge somebody, they don't appreciate it. And that's what really makes me mad. Like I would have people, I would say, okay, well, meet me online. You know, I'm going to help you out. They don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I'm trying to help you. You don't show up. Like, but now, since I'm doing this as a business and you got to pay a little bit money and my fees are very low because I want to reach the masses. I'm not doing this for money. I got a great job, you know, like, but I want to make sure that you know, or I know that you're going to show up when we have a meeting because you already paid me. That already went into my PayPal account. So if you
man.
don't show up, it's your fault, right?
My
So,
wife, man. I didn't
huh?
mean to cut like my wife. she'll come into the room and she'll like hear me. And I'm like walking around like I'm in the office. Like she's in her office.
You're like pacing.
I'm talking to these guys, and it's just like she'll give me that look, like, oh, okay, I already know what he's talking about. Let me get up out of here. Or like somebody's over, and I'm like in the mode, like I'm locked in, and she's like, yo, like what? Who was he talking to? And I can, so I can hear it. She's like, man, talking to somebody else that's playing overseas. Like it's just there's certain things that they just may not know, and it's not their fault.
No,
It's actually good that we're talking about it, and and trying to fix it. But it's a tough situation, man. A lot of guys get bum jobs, and even like talk to a few guys that's trying to become agents and stuff like that, and like branching off or whatever. But I usually just try to tell them, because they ask me, like, what's the biggest piece of advice that you can give me? And I'm like, well, as an agent, man, don't try to put a player in a situation where you won't put yourself in. Right. So, like with that, like stuff that I dealt with in Poland and in other countries, this generation right now ain't built to deal with that. Right. And there's not a knack against them, but it's different times now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just different times. So I was in an apartment with no bed, sleeping on a futon, no sink to brush my teeth in. You know what I'm saying? So my TV was the size of my laptop screen. Like right? But these kids now will not be able to overcome right? No car, walking in the snow, shoes wet, just trying to go on an off day, trying to get some work in on my own. You know what I'm saying? But when I walk through my house, I can see that it paid off. You know, and so it's things like that, man, that we're all gonna have to go through the storm. We all have to go through the storm. It's gonna be different forms of it, but we all have to go through it to actually see the bright side of things. And if you can make it through, then you can be talking and stuff like this to share your story, to make sure that those other guys don't make the mistake that you made.
Right. What's the best piece of advice that a player ever gave you when you were coming up?
So with me, man, it wasn't basketball really wasn't the end all be all for me. Like my thing was music. My first love was drums. So the basketball thing kind of like, I'm not gonna say fell in my lap, but I didn't even try for my high school team. So it just, I think it kind of happened like organically, to be honest. And I really just learned from trial and error. Like if it wasn't for my father taking me to a basketball camp in high school, going into my senior year, I probably wouldn't have taken basketball serious like that. You know what I'm saying? Because knowing that the people that was there, from Chris Douglas Roberts, Wilson Chandler, Michael Bramos, Manny Harris, like all those names that were there, those guys played like in the NBA. Michael Bramos is having a great career in Italy right now, and a great glue guy, and like one of the most ultimate guys that you would want to have on your team. And you would probably want to talk to him, but it's going to be hard to contact him. Like Kawhi Leonard, he don't have no social media or nothing. But yeah, man, my dad was the one that looked out for me. That's it. Like without him, we would not be having this conversation.
That's dope.
We would not have this conversation. My mom was behind the scenes. She made sure I ate, clothes was clean, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But basketball and stuff, my dad, like you said, hey, get your shoes, we're going to Memphis. For what? Just get your shoes, we're about to go. Okay, I gotta go.
Gotta go. I'm saying you gotta
go. So I think it was like a collection of things, man, from him taking me to that camp, from me going to Memphis, from me going to APU, right? for me, learning the situation in Sacramento with the first agency encounter and stuff like that, and then just so on and so forth. So it was just like it was a foundation.
What's the toughest thing that you've had to, or what's the toughest thing when you know we're vets? You're a vet. I'm an old OG. Um, what do you tell somebody that's probably just coming over here? What the toughest part of you being overseas has been? It doesn't even have to be about basketball. It could be
When
about
I lost
family. It could be about anything. What's the toughest thing that you about playing overseas for you?
February 13th, 2014, lost my like my god brother. I was the last person to talk to him. So
And you were overseas.
I was overseas, couldn't do nothing about it.
Mhm.
6 hour time difference. Facebook Messenger, we was talking Friday the 13th. I'll never forget it. Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah, yeah, so that was the toughest thing that I had to like deal with. Seeing the bubble, the message thread, like he's about to write a message and it never comes through, right? Come to find out, he got shot in the head.
yeah, man.
So,
That's deep, man. The family,
but that's
family,
in the
friends,
yeah, it's in the book, and it's just like the next day we're playing against Slash, and when I went to go tell the coach what was happening, with tears in my eyes, like, can you still play?
and
I'm not thinking about this fucking game. I'm ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is, and it was just like I played in the game because I talked to my agent's daughter, who was 5 years old, that had me crying and telling me to do it for Quez. And then it ended up being, that was my last game in Poland, but it ended up being my best game up to date in Europe at that time. So that's what got me bought out to Israel, but that was the toughest time, losing him.
I mean, of course, we all. That's the thing. I've lost family members being overseas, and you just can't pick up and fly over. You gotta your life and stuff, and that's definitely those 2, 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls are never nice. It's like
Yeah,
that phone ring at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's never like good news, right?
yeah,
It's like you see that number from back home, and it's like, damn. You
hmm,
know, that I would agree that's the toughest thing to be away from family, friends, um, people that you love because you're pursuing your dream, your sport, your job as well.
yeah,
Uh, and it's not like you just pick up and go. It's not like 2 hour drive or something like that, and that's definitely the toughest thing. To wrap it up, man, I really appreciate you coming on and especially in this short notice. What do you think the future, or what do you think guys like you and I need
hmm,
to do for the future to help players who are coming after us? I mean, writing a book is all great. I think both of our books are going to be good. By the way, you got your book there? You got a copy of your book there?
no, it's not here with me.
Okay. Well, this is mine, and I'm going
Yeah,
to send this to you, and you're going to send me one of yours. We're going to do a book swap. But what do you think? What do you think guys like you and I can do to help those coming behind us?
the best thing we do, man, is just continue to mentor them. And that could be by reaching out. That can be by, continue making the posts and stuff like that you're making for them. I could definitely do more of that myself. I do it from time to time, and I get a lot of feedback and stuff from it. The other thing is also, like with the book, sometimes I feel as if when with the book, like a guy can purchase it, but are you actually reading it, right? So I'm not doing it to make the money. I'm here to really kind of help you not bump your head the way that I did, because now the money and stuff is increasing, right?
Yeah.
So those mistakes, those fines and stuff like that could be doubled or it could be tripled. You know what I'm saying? And then you like, damn, well, I ain't know this. But then if you blow the dust off that book, that you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just more so just continue, you know what I'm saying, pouring into the youth. talking to him. You got another guy, Mike Taylor, just joined. Man, it's just he's doing something right now in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying with the community as well, and trying to pour back into the youth. It's just more so, man. It's just interaction. It's all about communication. All about communication, man. As long as we stay locked in, like we are, especially now, I'm definitely going to, you know what I'm saying, tap in with you because I think we need to do it again. But yeah, it's just staying connected to the youth, letting them know what's going on, letting them know that we're here, and we're going to do the best that we can to make sure that they can have a smoother road than we had. That's the best thing.
Yeah, that's why I do it too. You know, that giving back is a huge part of my DNA. You know, and it's crazy, man. When I think back to when I was coming out and just nobody giving information, everybody keeping stuff for themselves, people lying, just how much better the community could have been
Yeah,
even back then.
yeah.
You know,
But
so I appreciate it.
it's
Huh?
not too late.
No, it's
Like
not. It's definitely
yeah,
not too late, for sure not. The funny thing is like, you know, of course we're running in the same circles, right? And we know some of the same people or comment on a post, right? And I know when I see it pop up that you commented on a post that I commented on, I know you're like you always chime in with a piece of information that I left out. Like I'll say one thing and you'll be like, yeah, I agree, but and then you give your point. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. You're right about that. So I appreciate that about you, brother. You know, you tell it like it is, you know, and that's what we need. We need that. The community needs that. They need people to, you know, say, hey, I agree, but you know,
yeah.
think about this too, you know, and there's no one right guru. You
It's
know,
not
there's no one right person that you should follow. And that's why I'm all about giving love to anybody. Somebody might ask, why do you have a guy on the show that wrote a book damn near the same as what you wrote? You know,
yeah. But it's
because
different.
we all have different experiences. We
Different
all
generation.
have different
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah.
And it carves our own thing, but everybody has their own way. And that's why I'm big on trying to big up anybody that's doing something to educate these guys and girls, you know, and I appreciate what you do, man. I know you're not on there like crazy like I am with these damn reels that are driving me crazy,
I don't
but
even, I don't even know how to make them. So I'm just like,
but you know, so I mean, I appreciate what you do, you know, and I've been watching you for a long time. We've been going back and forth on social media too, and this interview is a long time coming. We definitely have to do another one. I know we'll talk about that, uh, which kind of format we'll do for the next one. But I appreciate you coming on
yeah,
spontaneously. We're like, you want to do it? We doing, you
yeah,
know. And I
yeah,
appreciate you
yeah.
coming on and giving your knowledge and giving your experience and trying to help the men and women out there that are following us, man. That's mad important. And yeah, I just want to tip my hat. I'm not going to take my hat off because I need a haircut, but I want to tip my hat to you, brother. Keep it up,
Yeah.
you know. And then yeah, man, get on up out of here. Let me say goodbye to these people.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Later.
All right.
So, teammates, once again, that was a very informative discussion. You know, it's crazy how this world, this internet world is. You know, I probably would have never met him hadn't it been for Instagram. You know, and he's doing a lot of good things for people, and I'm all for that. So, if any of you would like to pick up his book, I'm gonna put it in the YouTube description. The link to the Amazon page. Adjusting, adapting, and managing expectations of overseas basketball is the title by Dominique Johnson, and I will definitely put that in the description. Please make sure you pass all of this information on to people that will need it because there's people out there that are willing to help. You just have to. I can't go to 20,000 basketball players that are just coming out of college, you know. But if you contact me, I will be the one that writes you back. I am the only person in one man show, and I will be the one to write you back. So if you know anybody that needs some advice, you know, throw them my way, throw them to Dominique's way. There's no one right person that can tell everything, right? So get some different aspects, different views, opinions from different people, and see what fits for you. That would be my advice. So, anyway, this is a busy week for me. This was supposed to be a three interview week, and now it's going to be four. Because of this one was so spontaneous. I've got another one tomorrow. I've got one of my favorite clients on tomorrow, Shay, and you'll see why she's my favorite when I have her on. She's a great woman, and yeah. So that'll be tomorrow, and then I got another one on Wednesday, I believe, and then another one on Friday. So I'll be pretty busy now that I have Easter vacation. So yeah, there'll be a lot of posts, a lot of things going on. And like I said, if you were here for 1 minute, thank you. If you were a returning viewer, thank you. Appreciate you. And yeah, I see you tomorrow actually. So I hope everybody will stop in tomorrow. It'll be pretty cool. So anyway, that's out. Enough from me. Enough running my mouth. I hope all of you are healthy. Stay healthy. Your families as well. Old head out.